What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Vick3 Presents the Eagles post-game panel show. I'm your host, Vick3. And listen, we had a great game today. We'll get into it once my panel comes through. But let's chop it up. Let me start off by saying first, Merry Christmas to everyone who who gets involved into the holidays. If you don't, hope you had a great day. Well, for everyone else, I hope you had a Merry Christmas. You had a great time with your family and was able to get everything you wanted. Now, as we started off, let's talk about this game. And I'm joined by my two first guests. I got Mitch, Big Play. Fellas, thank you for coming through.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, listen, let's get into it now. We came away with the win today, 34-3, or excuse me, 34-10. We seen how this game started off. Let me get into everybody. I ain't got the thing, but let's get everyone's raw reactions. Mitch, I'll start off with you. What did you think about today's game?
So the first half, you were in my live play-by-play. Thank you for that. That was fun. The first half, the offense sucked. Like, the offense couldn't catch anything. Jalen Hurts was throwing, all kinds of weird things. We had a run game in the first, but we weren't using that as much. But, we missed a field goal in the first, so it was 3-3. First time in history when the Eagles played the Giants, it ended up 3-3. So there's that. And the second half, the defense came out gun blazing, right out of the gate. We had an interception by McLeod, and then the punt, but that punt returned by Rager. Woo! Thank God. Rager had a good game. He had a decent game today. I'm happy.
Yep.
And Jalen Hurts took over, and then Jake from State Farm went out, and then Mike Glennon came in. I'm like, that was just perfect. Icing on the cake.
Oh, it definitely was. It definitely was. BPS, my God, you have saved yourself from a nice shaving today. How do you feel?
No, uncensored. Uncensored was the one saved today.
Yes.
I was one nervous person, bro. I swear to God.
They both were, right?
What's good?
How we doing, my guy?
Merry Christmas. Like the Eagles did today, then I'll be happy.
Keep the air.
BPS. Yeah. Listen, Listen, BPS, I know what you were doing. You were trying to get yourself prepared. You got that little shave down so everyone can see the dome. We can get used to the peanut butter. But let me get your raw reaction. What did you think about today's game?
Yeah, I would have to agree with Mitch. I wasn't a fan of how we looked in that first half. I was not a fan of all at how we looked in that first half. Jalen Hurts in that first half, he couldn't read the defense at all. There was times where he just missed guys who were wide open. Dallas Goedert on that in the back of the end zone, he was wide open, but he went to Quez Watkins on the slant, which he should have went to Goddard on that touchdown. But he went the safer decision, even though Goddard was wide open. But personally, in that first half, I was impressed with more of the defense. They fought really well in that first half. They competed to the end. That defense played well, but you have to play good against second and third stringers. There's no reason you should be playing bad against Jake Fromm and Mike Glennon.
Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, Jake from State Farm. Jake from State Farm. But that defense played well in that first half. In that second half, the offense played very conservative, I would say, in that first half. And then that second half bounced back, and Jalen Hurts kind of scanned the field a little more. He got his guys going. Quez Watkins, Jalen Rager, he played very well today. He played better.
I want to go very well. He missed that incomplete pass.
He played good. Rager played a lot better than his following weeks.
There we go.
Man, so I liked how this defense played the entire game. The offense, that first half, they were conservative, and then that second half, they bounced back. So I got to say B+, at least. B-, C-, C+, around there. They played that.
Not bad. BLSG, my guy. Merry Christmas to you as well. I didn't get to talk to you.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, man.
Sure.
It's Festivus for the rest of us right now.
Yeah.
But let me get your initial reaction on this game. What's your raw reaction today?
Well, first of all, let me go out and say this. The perfect way to capitalize a Christmas weekend is to have the Philadelphia Eagles beat the crap out of the New Jersey Giants. And then let's just get in the rest of it. Let's just get in the rest of it. First half. That was probably one of, if not the worst first halves that I could have ever saw or witnessed in my entire life. I mean, Jalen Hurts wasn't finding much of anything. The defense looked great, though. But Jalen Hurts, he really couldn't find anybody. He helped him get down the field like one time and had Elliott kick a field goal, but that was about it. And Jalen Hurts really couldn't find anything. And then going into the half, Nick Sirianni is probably like, come on, guys, we got to come out with more energy. We have to start finding our identity. Jalen, you need to be better. You guys need to be better. This guy needs to be better. That guy needs to be better. We all have to be better in the second half. And you know what? They showed this in the second half. And as Nick Sirianni would say, it's not about who's the toughest. It's about who's the toughest the longest. And the Eagles showed that they were the toughest the longest, longer than the New York Giants. And we have witnessed that. Now let's go in terms of the defense. The defense, can we just give a round of applause to Jonathan Gannon and the defense today? 10 points allowed. 10 points allowed. Can we just give this guy a round of applause? Great game plan. I've been saying it before I came on here. Jonathan Gannon needs a great game plan today. And he displayed it. And his defense displayed it. It's a great game out of the defense by Jonathan Gannon. And great performance by the offense, but mainly in the second half. Got to be better in the first half, though, because it's not going to work every time where we can only go in the second half and not in the first half. So we need to be better in first half situations. We just have to keep doing the same thing from start to finish.
Yeah.
Can I just say real quick? Alex Singleton with the pick 6. Lane Johnson with the touchdown.
There you go.
By the way, I just want to say I called that Rodney McLeod touchdown. Not that touchdown, that interception, that Rodney McLeod interception.
I didn't call that in my stream.
I didn't say it in your stream, but when I was watching the game,
it doesn't count. You got to be in my stream.
No, Mitch, just because I wasn't on your stream and didn't call that doesn't mean anything. But when I was watching the game today, Rodney McLeod, I said it won't be Slay today. I think it's going to be Rodney McLeod who gets his first pick. And what did he do? He got his first pick, so I'm kind of happy about that.
Oh, my God. Robert just sent me Cop Pizzles live.
Hey, appreciate it, Logan. If you want, man, come through. I'll put the link out in the chat.
Bro, give him.
I'd like to hear what a Giants fan has to say about today's game.
Bro, give him slack. You have to give him slack, bro.
You know me.
Bro. You got to give him some slack, bro. I'm not giving them no slack, though.
I already tweeted at them already. I already tweeted at the Giants fans.
Giants game all week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Papa, let me get your thoughts. What did you think of today's game?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty much like everybody said. Sloppy first half, just by both teams. But I mean, I want to see so badly the halftime speech given, because whatever was said worked. It worked. Yeah, first half, they pretty much just ignored it or not ignored it, but they kind of just forgot about it. They kept playing. They lived in the moment. They were able to get a pretty big W. We beat them by what, like 31 points?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it was
10, so 33.
Yeah, yeah, it was definitely a good game. Definitely liked seeing that bomb to Devontae Smith. That was good. The toe drag. Definitely liked seeing the Lane Johnson touchdown. I've been pitching that one for years. So yeah, been pretty good. Got to wear the new Hurts.
Oh, what's good, Jay Boogie? I think we have Eagles fan for life. Did I hear that correctly? Did I see that correctly?
Yeah, I know it.
Yo, turn it off.
Yes, we
I don't want to get copyrighted.
Yeah, we can't get copyrighted.
Hold on, man.
Turn it off. Turn it off. Vic, just mute him. Just mute him.
Which one is
We
it?
can never invite this guy. This guy always does this.
Hold on.
Yo, seriously, stop. I don't want Vic. I don't want Vic to get copyright claimed.
Why?
I got it. I got it.
All right, Slade, that was not much better.
But but yeah, man, that was a great assessment, Papa. What did you think about Jalen Hurts today? We saw that first quarter; it looked horrible. We seen the fumble, we seen the bad decision making. It took him to get into halftime. Then we seen his second, a bounce back performance in that second half. But let me get everyone's thought on Jalen Hurts as a whole. We're not just gonna, give him credit for the second half and go by what he did in the first half. So, what did you think about Jalen Hurts' performance all around? I'll start off with you, Mitch.
All around,
Familiar.
that first half was so ridiculously bad. I mean, he was the very first possession, I think it was on a third down. He tried to give it to Goddard, and it ended up being picked up. Almost. It almost ended up being picked off. He should have thrown a couple away. It was just terrible. Terrible in the first half. But the second half, A. I'm just giving him an A for that second half. So, G all around.
Hey, let me give a shout out to my guy, Jerry Below, my co-host on the Big Ticket. How we doing, my guy?
Yeah, how you doing, man?
What's going on, dudes?
Where you off to? Where you going?
Taking my son home.
Nah, he's going to smoke that Giants.
Nice. Out and about.
Giants back.
Come on, man.
He's enjoying his victory lap. That's what he's doing right now.
At least we didn't have to give you a baldy.
Yeah.
And Uncensored doesn't have to become a Giants fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that there was a bet going on, but I didn't know the extent of the bet. And when they told me live, I just thought it was wild. He had to do Giants content for a year. Yeah, there was a lot to that bet.
Vic, the only bad thing about today is Philly 500 had to wear a Giants shirt and a Giants cap on the street today. And he had the root right. I felt bad for you, though.
Wait, he did that live?
He did that live. He did that.
Yeah, he had to do it live. I think he lost a bet to somebody.
No, wait. So for the whole game, he was rooting for the Giants today?
No, he was rooting for
No.
If they lost. Okay.
He had to wear like a Giants jersey and like a Giants hat is what BPS is trying to say.
Gotcha.
But he still could root for the Eagles, but he just had to wear Giants gear.
I think he also has to wear it again today. I think when the Knicks players come. That's what he said.
Not that bad. But Jared, I didn't get to hear your reaction on the game. Let me get that real quick. What did you think of this game?
First half shit show. Second half, way to go.
Let me follow that up.
I didn't know Jerry has bars. I didn't know that.
Oh, Jerry does. He's a very talented man.
I didn't know that. Jeez.
But let me get you, since we're on you. What did you think of Jalen Hurts' performance today overall?
It was good. I mean, in the second half, but like I said, but it kind of sucked in the first half. I mean, nobody was connecting. But second half, he was really good, man. He lit it up.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He made me nervous the first half, for real. I was like, here come the roller coaster.
Yeah, we were definitely on a roller coaster today. BPS, how would you assess Jalen Hurts' performance today?
Yeah, that first half, I just couldn't stand him. That first half, he didn't play as well as I thought he should have played. I thought he kept missing a lot of reads. He didn't scan the field well. There was a play where I believe he stepped up into pressure. He didn't see the pressure coming from his right side, and that's when they got the sack. And it almost could have been a fumble if they got that. But yeah, he didn't probably sit in the field well. I felt like he should have got to Dallas Goedert on that touchdown in the back of the end zone. But in that second half, he played a lot better. He bounced back. He scored a touchdown to Lane Johnson and a touchdown to Devontae Smith. So yeah, I thought he played very well in that second half. Great bounce back.
Yeah. BLSG, my guy, are you there?
I'm here. I'm just helping out my dad with something.
Oh, it's okay. Let me just
give me a second. Just give me a second.
All right, then we'll hit up the Papa. Papa, how would you rate Jalen Hurts' performance today?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a B. Obviously, first half was not the greatest for anybody. I mean, we had 4 drops in the first half, and I think part of that is the fact that we just had such the short bye week. I'm not obviously going to use that as an excuse because we absolutely crushed them afterwards, but I do think early on in the game, part of the reason was just such a short bye week, or not bye week, just such a short week for preparations. But yeah, yes, obviously everybody's going to talk. Yeah, everybody's going to talk about the miss to Goddard or whatever in the end zone and all that. But I mean, pretty much after that, it really didn't end up leading him missing any throws. I mean, he didn't miss any throws, or he didn't miss that deep bomb to Devontae Smith.
How about the one to Watkins? That one was just that was a
great catch by Watkins.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a great
That was
catch.
actually perfect. No lie.
Yeah.
No, it resembled almost that Panthers hit though, where if he kind of like hit him on the like back shoulder, it could have like made a touchdown, but he like put it like right where he was at. So
yeah, that was a great one. That was it. The defender literally had to climb onto Watkins like a monkey on a tree to try to get him to not catch that. I mean, he was right there in the middle or in the center of both Watkins' hands. I mean, he was right there. It was perfectly thrown. It was a good throw, even better of a catch. So yeah. And then of course I think probably everybody's favorite touchdown was the Lane Johnson touchdown. That was just awesome.
Lane Johnson in a Pro Bowl, damn it.
Facts. You can say that again, Mitch, so everyone can hear.
Lane Johnson to the Pro Bowl? I might make a video on that tomorrow.
Yeah,
He should be in the Pro Bowl.
I was
disrespectful snub.
I was still mad that Darius Slade didn't get that pick right there.
He should
I was
have.
going to ask you that.
I was so mad when that shit happened, bro. I was like about to punch the damn TV, but I didn't.
That's why we haven't called any
doing,
plays supposed to be thrown his way. He's only in for a decoy.
But that was
Get that sun out your eyes, boy.
I'll say this about Jalen Hurts, and we all know that first half was horrible. But it was decisions that he made, and I don't mean decisions like what he did with instead of running the ball or passing like that. What I mean is literally the balls that he threw, the decisions that he made to throw into double coverage, not once, not twice, but multiple times. Those are things you can't do. I understand Devontae Smith is a great receiver. He's not going to win those matchups. We saw it. He wasn't going to win those matchups all the time because he can't. Sometimes he's out of place. Sometimes, again, that second back is getting his eye off that football. So you can't do it. You got to be smarter. We saw a play where Devontae, they did two of the same plays back to back, where they threw it over to, I believe it was Watkins, instead of Devontae, who was open, or God, I can't remember who was in it. But again, he threw it to double coverage. Then he does it again, but this time it was with Smith. Smith catches the ball, but again, we're talking about in between two defenders. That's costly. Every time he tried to do that, you're just waiting for yourself to get picked off. If he keeps on playing that way, that's what's going to happen. He's going to have more turnovers. I think he needs to smarten up with that. That could have been part of the conversation that they had in halftime. Because after that, you really didn't see Jalen making those decisions. So whatever the conversation Sirianni's having with Jalen in the second half or at halftime, he needs to be having that before the game. So that way Jalen's aware of the things he shouldn't be doing.
honestly, I swear Devontae Smith could have had 2 touchdowns in this game because that touchdown to Lane Johnson, Devontae Smith was on a crosser against James Bradbury where he clearly had him beat. That was still, touchdown for Lane Johnson. I'll take that.
Yes, but Lane was also wide open. I mean, he was eating a ham sandwich.
Listen,
I would love to get Devontae all the touchdowns, but when he's wide open, no.
You got to give it to him.
Listen, the big fella has speed. He was deceptive. He came out there. He called his shot. He got the ball. Great.
He high-stepped it into the end zone.
Yeah. Former quarterback, former tight end, great hands still. We still use them.
These hands.
Foothill's my guy. Appreciate you for coming through. Oh, you're on mute. Oh, let's get that velvety baritone. You're still on mute.
He's on mute now.
Yeah, I still see it muted.
Yeah, he's muted.
Yeah, you're still. Oh, let's see. I don't think your mic is working though.
Yeah, I think he's gonna
I think-
restart.
He's probably gonna have to leave or restart, plug in, plug out. Might be something acting up with the USB or just StreamYard in general.
He got Papa's. What is it, Comcast? Whatever you have down there.
Spectrum? No, and that's why I dropped because my Wi-Fi dropped. That's why when I came back
It's all
in, I
your
was
fault,
just shaking
Papa.
my head. Yeah,
Are we
Let's
the
go on, Papa. That's all your fault. What do you mean?
you guys are starting to sound like my dad now.
question? Are we the 7th seed now? Because the Vikings.
Yes,
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. We're in the wild card hunt along with the Cardinals, and I can't remember who the second team was.
Cardinals and Niners.
Niners.
The Niners, correct? The Niners.
Niners are 6th seed at. I think, or no, we have the same record.
We
They're
have
also 8 and 7, but they have the tiebreaker over us.
If
Yo,
they lose to the
Which-
Texans next week, though, we would be the 6th.
If they lose, we win. We become the 6th seed.
Mhm. So,
Yeah, wouldn't that be-
Did you
wouldn't
guys
that be the
performance
shit
by
if
Bill
Dallas lost? Wouldn't that be
What
the
was
shit
that?
if Dallas lost and we beat Washington and Dallas?
Oh, that'd be great.
that would be
That
great.
would be
That'd be beautiful at the end of the season. No lie.
Yeah, I want the division.
Yeah.
I want.
Yeah.
I will say this.
Washington. Dallas
Right
clinches
now,
it. if
even
they
though
beat
we
Washington.
won 34 to 10, going up against Dallas now, I don't want anyone to think that it would be an easy game or like it's a definite. Because right now, I think Dallas still has our number. If that first half, what I saw from that first half, shows me we're still not in a position to be a dominant team. You know, we could get over on teams, we can work our way to being better at during the game, but coming off the blocks, we're not very good. It takes us too long to get things together. And there are teams that can, they can expose us for that. We can be
Vic,
taken
you're
out of-
breaking up really bad.
Am I breaking up? Is that what you're saying?
No, you're not breaking up.
Oh, okay.
I think it's
Here we go.
Is it
Now
me?
we got my Godzilla. Let's hear you.
What's good, guys?
There we go.
All right, now you're working. What else?
Yo,
Close.
close game.
Very close.
I'm only down by 9, and I still have my
Where's
own
TV?
scores in the basket.
If
I
someone
know.
has a TV on, can you shut that off right now?
Somebody has like background noise.
I don't think that's you because it was on before you.
It's just Mike moving though.
Who's the best team in football?
yeah, it's definitely very
Yeah.
it's what.
That's a little bit.
Little
That's
Boogie.
what Jordy won.
Little
Let me
That's
get your
good.
thoughts. What did you think about this win today?
No, it was a big win. It was kind of a tale of two halves, especially on the offensive side of the football. We got to figure out how to iron some of that out. Obviously, going forward, especially when we get it, if we hold on to this playoff seed that we have now, and we get in. If we start slow against anybody else, like I was telling AK earlier, if we start slow against a playoff team, we're going to get smoked. We're not going to be able to go into half 3-3, in games in the playoffs. I just don't see that happening. Our defense is good, but they're not great. So they did definitely play good today, though. I would say the defense really they obviously kept us in the game first half, and the second half they really dominated.
You could definitely tell the defense wanted this game.
Definitely.
I mean,
What did you think about Jalen?
That's a clean hoodie, Vic. Did you just get that for Christmas?
Oh yeah, let me sport this off because the wife had to get this for me. 1960 Eagles
Oh
logo.
yeah, Vic.
Joey
That's
Fighter, I know
clean.
you'd recognize this anywhere. But
That's
yeah, man, she's a Cowboys fan, but she
You
knows
and your friends getting that.
she know who runs this house. These Eagles fans run this house.
He already knows what's up.
My wife got me a Disney one.
Oh, fly! I like
Oh,
that.
dang.
Yeah,
I like it.
You sent me a screenshot of that.
Yeah, I got the black and golden Hertz.
Oh, you
Yo,
wait
I
till
seen that. Papa, I love that because I saw that and I've never seen that color scheme on the jersey.
That is fire, bro. Oh,
I got this.
wow.
The signed Devontae Smith jersey was obviously the big gift from the wife. I
Heck
got
yeah.
a signed Asante Alshon Jeffrey jersey. God, why do I keep saying Asante? Alshon Jeffrey jersey behind me. That's brand new. And she also got me this too. Yeah.
I was like, you got an Asante sample.
Little Eagle dude.
Mr. Potato Head.
What about Mr. Potato Head? Heck yeah.
It's a little Eagle dude.
But that
I
Eagles
don't know
helmet
where.
don't
I don't
come
know
off
where
him.
she got.
You're like my little. You can be my parrot.
Right?
Hey, shout out to Mrs. Foothills, man. Merry Christmas. Great gifts. Great
Yes.
gifts.
Big time shout.
Hey, but let me ask you, what did you think of Jalen Hurts' performance?
You know, I thought that he was very, very inconsistent. You know, inconsistent in the first half. He looked kind of like he was reverting back to some of his, mistakes that he's making earlier in the season, things like that. So, didn't like to see that. But I think we need to really kind of step back and take into consideration what kind of kid that we have as far as maturity beyond his years, because not a lot of young quarterbacks can play that as bad as he played in the first half and come back and play as solidly as he did in the second. So, he's got a very short memory. He likes to be coached up, like he said. He can take the tough love. He's not thin-skinned, which we need as a quarterback as well. And I just think that some of you younger guys kind of take it for granted as far as like the maturity that he's showing beyond his years so far, as far as wanting to be coached up and being able to erase what he just did wrong on the next play and move on to the next play into the next down. And I think we have something special right now. I'm not saying he's going to be the next Russell Wilson or anything like that, but those throws that he made, the one he made to Devontae Smith in the corner, the throw he made last week to Greg Ward Jr. on the back shoulder throw, those types of throws on the move are types of throws that we see from guys like Russell Wilson and John Watson. And I bring up those names because I think we'll be absolute fools to jump the gun and to waste draft picks on guys like that. I think we need to stick with what we got at least for another year. And hey, guys, we're in the playoffs now. So, I mean, what more could we really have asked for so far from Jalen Hurts? With the situations that he's been put in, with the types of offensive schemes, especially early on with heavy passing. I mean, we saw it again kind of early on today. It was unbalanced. We were like, at one point, I think in the first quarter, it was definitely in the first half. It was 20 runs to only 10 passes, or it was 10 passes to only, or 10 runs to only 20 passes. So we still need to get more offense of balance. And I think there's definitely some things that we can iron out, these last couple of weeks of the year. So I'm excited right now because we're 8-7. We're in the playoffs now, and now we got Coach Dante in the building. So let's have him go. What's up, Coach?
Thank you, Coach Dante, for coming through, my guy.
Dante, you can't leave. Dante, I can't get away from you.
He's talking Mitch.
Hey, the
He can't quit.
Chargers. Hey, the Texans are one competitive team, bro. They got a
Mitch, the sexy bitch.
I heard that, Jerry. That was good. I'll give you that one, Jerry. That was good.
That sounds like a new YouTube channel. Sexy bitch Mitch. Sexy bitch Mitch.
I would my channel would get strike down like there would be no tomorrow.
Let me get your thoughts on today's win and Jalen Hurts' performance.
I thought his performance was kind of in and out a little bit. You seen tell the two halves. Second half where he got more comfortable, throwing the ball towards the sideline to Devontae Smith. I thought that was a pretty okay throw, but that's also Devontae Smith making a play right there for his quarterback. Then the play before that, I think before the play before that, when you was in the stream, he underthrew a ball, but that was basically Devontae Smith making a catch more than that. He was making a throw. You saw the same scenario, Jalen Reagor coming across the formation. That was really in coverage, but that's just Jalen Reagor making a play. He got to improve on some of these throws. We understand he got 20 rushing. We got 10 rushing touchdowns, but you got to be able to beat people with your arms and make a play with your arm at some point when we need you to. It's not all about scrambling, getting up out of the pocket and scoring rushing touchdowns. Everybody care about beating teams with your arms, and that's what you're going to have to do. He has to prove in that area about being consistent for him to be a franchise quarterback. But like I say, at this point, I still don't know. We got 2 games to still evaluate him. A win is good and all that. We're 8-7. We're in the 7th spot, but we got focus on Washington coming up this week, who's another tough task. We got to go there, and they're going to have a better game plan than what they had last time. And I thought the defense was impressive all day long, even though it was Mike Glennon and Jake from State Farm, even though it was those guys, but the defense did what they come out there and did what they had to do to get us this ball game. We probably didn't get too much sacks, but we got pressure when we need to. Williams got a big chase down sack on Jake from State Farm, and then I thought the offense picked up a little bit. I thought the running game picked up a little bit, but we definitely still got a lot of work to do for what I saw in the first half.
Yeah, I definitely agree, especially what you were saying with Jalen Hurts. He doesn't do anything to get out of the conversation of, is he the guy for the future? He constantly gives you a reason, to put question into that, to say, well, maybe we should look out because of what he does. He doesn't run away with this starting position as I feel that he should, especially where we're at now. We only got 2 games left. This was an evaluation season. You're going to really make us go back to the tape and see if we should keep you around for next year. That's the way Jalen's going to do it. And usually when that happens, it doesn't favor that quarterback. There would be I feel with this team, especially how Howie is, there's going to be a need to go into this draft and focus on a quarterback. Whether it's a 2nd round pick, a 3rd, or even a 1st round pick, we don't know. But Jalen isn't closing the door on the possibility of bringing in another guy. And that's something that if he wants to be the guy, he's going to have to perform a hell of a lot better to stop that noise.
Yeah, and one more thing I want to bring into it. Another thing, he going against basic coverages. Sometimes I question, can he read the field a little bit? Because you're seeing simple basic coverages that he's throwing in double coverages. Like the play to Devontae Smith, you got number 23 playing over the top the whole time. You can't tell me you can't see, make it seems like one-on-one coverage, but it's really not. You have the safety baiting, but you're staring down the receiver the whole time and you're not looking off the safety. That's twice he done it. And then, like I say, you can just question this eye level. You can just question it and saying, can this guy really read the defense? Can he really see the field, scan the field? And to me, he's kind of average scanning the field, because the first game he did that a lot and every interception was his fault. Second game, this game was kind of similar. He threw it twice in the double coverage with Devontae Smith, one on the right side, one on the left side. And then Jalen Reagor, he somehow he was able to squeeze the ball in there. But most of those plays, catches, throws that he made, the receivers made a lot of those plays. Like Quez Watkins, that was not a good throw. That was Quez Watkins wanting the ball more than that corner than DB. That was, most of those throws weren't great. That was the receivers catching the football. So again, sometimes I question his ability to read the field and read coverages and see the field.
Yeah.
What, Dante? Like, I get what you're saying, but what quarterback in his next year's draft do you think can flourish the most in Sirianni's offense?
I didn't say anything about a quarterback in this draft. I didn't say anything else.
I'm just saying. I'm just asking the question.
I mean, you got free agents. You got free agents out there too. Again, I don't know what the front office thinking. You got back free agents that's the backup, or you resign Gardner Minshew back and just keep Jalen Hurts. You got other options out there, but you start with the free agent class first. What you got? I don't think the Eagles will look forward in the draft. I think they may be able to sign Gardner Minshew back just to keep some pressure on Hurts, or get a veteran quarterback in the free agency. That's the route I would go. I wouldn't. If I'm the Eagles, that's the route I would go. If you're considered keeping Jalen Hurts for one year, I would really go in the free agency class or resign Gardner Minshew for a 1 year. Sign Gardner Minshew right back to be the backup. And just in case Jalen Hurts is really not your guy, you still have Gardner Minshew, and then you may have to look in that free agency class if you're the Philadelphia Eagles. But right now, Jalen Hurts' head is not off the spike. He's still up to evaluation these next 2 games. So again, if he doesn't get the job done these very next 2 games, you're gonna have a lot of rumors and a lot of fans saying, let's trade Jalen Hurts, give up on him. Let's get into Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. Let's go in the draft. Let's go into the free agency, which the quarterback class of the free agency is not so hot either. And the draft is not so hot. But you're gonna start hitting a lot of trades about Deshaun Watson if he doesn't get the job done. But he's got to get better at reading the field and stop making so many throws and coverages so much. But most of those was definitely his receivers making a play, then I'm making a great throw. I understand he got the throw down, but the receivers just made the plays they need to make today.
I like that idea. I like that idea 100%. If you can't re-sign Minshew, then go get a Tyrod Taylor. You're not completely changing the system. I mean, personally, I think Jalen Hurts is a better Tyrod Taylor anyway. Like, from what I've seen, he seems like a better Tyrod Taylor right now. Why not basically get one of his players that kind of resemble what he plays
Facts.
You're not changing the system. Put him there and kind of compete with Jalen Hurts to see if Jalen Hurts is really your franchise quarterback.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you something, Big Play. Because you asked Dante what player he saw coming out of this draft that could be a franchise QB, as if none of them could be. So let me get your assessment. Not because a lot of people, because I've heard this all year, is saying, oh, this is a weak quarterback class. Guess what? This weak-ass quarterback class might have the most quarterbacks taken in the first round. Yeah. So it's not that weak. It's not that weak. I think the reason why they say it's weak is because those people haven't done their homework and they don't know those players yet. So they just throw it off as it's a weak class. We don't know about it. But as we know, in December, like we are now, we're starting to hear the names that we've never heard before. Right now, there's a quarterback with the last name of Strong. I haven't heard anything from him all season. But now he's been on everyone's radar for the longest time. So we're at that season. So let me ask you this question. Why do you think any of these quarterbacks coming out in this draft can be a franchise quarterback?
Ah, damn. Put me on the spot.
Yes, sir. You know me. That's what I do.
All right. I just personally, I don't think there's a quarterback that you can say will be a franchise quarterback. I think if you put quarterbacks in the right system, they will look better than what they were in the scouting reports and stuff. But I think right now, Kenny Pickett is the highest you could get from a ceiling side, or Carson Strong. That's a ceiling side. But there's not really a franchise quarterback in this draft that you could say.
Let me stop you right there just 1 second. Because it's awesome that you mentioned the 2 guys that I thought you would, because you just mentioned Pickett and Strong.
And Sam
Howell. We all know. Hold on. You don't ask Sam Howell now. You mentioned Pickett and Strong. Now, we only know of Pickett because of Howie being at the Pittsburgh game. Yes, we all know him from the past, the 5th-year senior. We heard about him, but there was no buzz around him. Let's be honest. When we saw Howie in the stands, a spotlight was put on that kid. And since then, his name has shot up to the number 1 ranking. You just mentioned Carson Strong. As I said, a person in the beginning of the year that no one knew about, no one spoke about, no one even cared about. Now that we're in December, they come out the woodwork, and you just said those are the two guys that could. These are people that, for the most part, no one has really heard, seen, or even cared to look at tape from. But now they're seen as franchise QBs. But a Harold...
I did not come back to y'all talking about quarterbacks in the draft.
Yes, sir.
What kind of bullshit
but when you
is
talk
this?
about Harold in North Carolina and Ole Miss's quarterback, what is it, Castle, whatever his name is?
Matt Crow.
Yeah, Matt. Everyone before was saying, those are franchise quarterbacks right there. It's all in how people see you at that time. And it's all when people notice you. Because when people notice Carson Strong and they see the tape, they're pretty much wow. And that's why they're giving him so much credit as he could possibly be the number 1 guy. But guess what? If he was that good, you would have been talking about him last year. You would have been saying he could have possibly be a Heisman candidate this year, but they weren't. So that's why I can't ever go off of those reports or people saying about the new guy coming through in December. If you ain't talked about him in the past, then he's going to be a flash in the pan. That's the way it always works out. People get hyped off of what you hear in December. Get hyped off of what goes back in September of last year. Get hyped off what goes on during the Shriner Bowl, during the Senior Bowl. That's when you see the make of a real quarterback and if they can carry a franchise. And none of these quarterbacks are at that position yet. So I don't understand how anyone can say that none of the quarterbacks coming in this year's draft are franchise material.
I mean, some of them might be franchise material and like in the future, but right now, none of these quarterbacks are a franchise like quarterback. If you put guys like Carson Strong and Sam Howell in good positions and Malik Willis in good positions, they'll look better than what the scouting report put on them. But I personally think all of these quarterbacks need a system. Carson Strong right now, if you put him in that Steelers system, it's literally a copy of Ben Roethlisberger's younger days because he plays exactly like him. He's a big quarterback that likes to stand
with or
tall,
without the woman abuse,
move around. Yeah, I mean,
Hopefully without. We prefer without.
But he needs a system behind him. Sam Howell, the same thing. I mean, I think he slept on because he just has a terrible team with North Carolina. But I still think if you put him in a good system, he'll look good. Same thing with Malik Willis. He needs a system. Put him in Atlanta. Sit him behind Matt Ryan for a year, and then you have a quarterback for the future.
Well, speaking of Willis, I'll say this real fast. I don't think he should be even thinking about entering the draft.
Yeah.
He needs to stay in college and he needs to develop. He needs to be able to handily beat the competition in the NCAA before he even thinks about, jumping over to the NFL. Because right now, all he is just a name. And even now, like I said before, that name has been falling down also. In the beginning of the season, Willis was the guy that everyone was talking about with so much buzz. Now you don't really hear his name that much. So if his thought is to make a move because his name's hot, it would behoove him to stay in college as long as he can, so that way he can develop and then eventually be the number one pick.
And for any of you guys that don't know what behoove means, that means that it would be good for him.
Wow.
That's how the draft works.
You caught me so off guard.
Thank you, Urban Dictionary.
Get to your point, though. That's how the draft works. Guys start to fall, and names that you heard of before start to fall down the draft, and then you have other guys that just start to rise.
Well, not really. That's how the draft works for people on our end when they're looking on the outside looking in, because in reality, scouts know who the guy is coming in, who the number one quarterback, because they've seen it. That's their job. They've been watching them all that college player's career. So they already know what's up. It all depended on the GM and whoever's calling the shots for that team to make the right decision. On us, on our end, we don't see anything to the last possible minute. That's why I say Carson Strong. No one heard about this kid. Why? It's the last possible minute when you hear someone from ESPN mention his name and say how he thinks Todd McShay says he thinks Carson Strong is great. When Todd McShay just heard it off of Matt Miller most likely and is moving on to the next guy just to get his name out there. That's the way the draft really works. Is they hear someone's name, they catch a little buzz, and everyone just regurgitates whatever they hear.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think Ryan Leaf got to be the second pick in the draft? He didn't play that well when he was at Washington State. Yeah, they went to a bowl game, but there was some interceptions thrown over there. He should have been the second pick. But once you get that hype train behind you, there's no stopping it.
Yeah. I watched some of Strong's film at the end of last year, and he really does need a system. He's a good quarterback. He might be a franchise quarterback, but he stands tall in the pocket. He just likes to rip it. And he likes to stand in between, throw it in between the intermediate field and then just throw it to the middle of the field, get his tight end going. That's the type of quarterback he is. He likes to throw it to the tight ends, check down and stuff, stand tall in the pocket, go deep. Yeah, he's one of those type of quarterbacks, like a Ben.
Yeah.
Carson.
Now, with all this quarterback talk, does everyone feel that we're still in a position where we may possibly still take a quarterback in this draft? I'll start off with you, BPS. What do you think?
Answer the
As
question.
long as let me put it this way: as long as Howie Roseman is our GM, nothing is out of the realm of possibility. So we better hold on to our shorts come next springtime because he may decide to turn into clusterfuck Howie Roseman, Howie Horrible, which I like to call him, and his true colors may come out again in the draft. Let's hope not. This past year, so far, has looked great. I mean, Landon Dickerson, Devontae Smith, obviously. I mean, there's numerous names. Gainwell. It's looked like a really, really good draft.
Big
But
Milton Williams getting a stack today.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
right. Big Milt helping me out. Definitely. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, to answer your question
Yeah.
though, about if we should take a quarterback this year or if how we would do something like that, it's just all it comes down to if Nick Sirianni will get in Howie Roseman's head and just say, give Hurts another year and see what he can do. Put a quarterback behind him that you think can compete with him, and then see what happens the year after this year. I think right now the only quarterback that they've looked at or like are interested in is Kenny Pickett. And Kenny Pickett will start to rise in the draft. He'll probably be in that top 3. The Texans, I think that's right now the only team that I could see taking him in that top 5 for like quarterbacks. I could see the Giants doing that because I don't know how they are right now with Daniel Jones, but I think the Texans right now is a team that would look for a guy like Kenny Pickett, or the Lions, honestly. They might look for him too. So there's a couple teams in that top 3 or top 4 that would want a quarterback like Kenny Pickett. So it's all comes down to if we would jump up for him. And we do have 3 first-round picks, but I don't know if they would do it. And Howie Roseman's in the helm, so.
Papa, what do you think? Should we think about getting a quarterback in the draft, or are we set?
Will we think about it? I don't know. Like Foothill said, Howie Roseman's an idiot. Should we? Hell no. That's all.
Short and sweet from Papa.
Yep.
Foothill's my guy. What do you think? Do you think that we should contemplate getting another quarterback in here?
A guy. I mean, I would not use anywhere from a first. I wouldn't use a first-round pick on a quarterback. I wouldn't use a second-round pick, and I probably wouldn't even use a third-round pick. If you're talking later than that, then yeah, we can put it into the conversation. But I think doing it, we have other needs on this team, other holes we need to fill, and we need to really stop focusing so much on the quarterback position because I mean I understand it's highly important, but I mean at the end of the day it's a team sport. This is a team game, and it takes a lot more than just a good quarterback to win championships in the long run. You saw it with Tom Brady. Yeah, he didn't always have the greatest weapons on offense, but they always had really good offensive lines. They always had really good defenses. So, and they drafted well, things like that. So it's all about how you kind of want to look at it, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, true. Coach, what do you think? Is it time to think about possibly getting someone here who can compete or take over for Jalen Hurts? Or have we already found our guy, Jalen Hurts?
I don't think I don't know if we found our guy. It still remains to be seen. Jalen Hurts can only decide if we're going to take a quarterback or not. His play for the next couple of games can only decide if Howie Roseman will take a quarterback or not. But I can see if we're one quarterback away, we just got other holes that we just need to fill defensively and stuff like that instead of the quarterback situation. If we were one quarterback away, I can see that happening. But other than that, Jalen Hurts, I'm going to say Jalen Hurts decide what if we take a quarterback or not these past couple of games, or what if we make the playoffs or not. He decides if we take another quarterback or not, or if Howie Roseman will be sold. So that will be my answer right there.
Good answer. BLSG, if you were the Eagles GM, are you sticking with Hurts, or are you going to, put some attention on another quarterback in the draft or possibly free agency?
Well, honestly, that's up to the GM. I mean, should we get another quarterback? No, because our quarterback is still young and he's still learning. What is there a chance that Howie does take a quarterback? Yes, because you want to know why? Howie Roseman's never taken quarterbacks in the NFL draft, and you know what he likes doing? He likes starting quarterback factories now, and if he takes another quarterback, it's just gonna be so annoying. Like, just let the young kid play. I mean, he's still learning. This is his first full season, for heaven's sake. And you're willing to throw in another quarterback. Like, we don't need another quarterback controversy here between whether if it's Hurts or Minshew. We don't need another quarterback factor. So I say ride it with Jalen for now, and if there are some question marks with him going forward, then just decide what you want to do with him from there.
Yeah, it looks like the Eagles, possibly could have a rough decision going into this offseason, depending on what happens in these next two games. And I've said it, from the beginning of the season. This is an evaluation season. Whether people like it or not, whether it's fair or not, Jalen had these 17 games to prove himself. At this moment, for me at least, I still have some questions for Jalen. Because again, like we saw in the beginning of this game, he wasn't playing his best. He was making bad decisions, throwing the ball where it didn't need to be. Now, these are same decisions that he was making earlier in the season. And I want you to make this, if you make a bad decision earlier in the season, I want you to correct that and understand that that was a bad decision later on. That move in the first half didn't show that. Now, in the second half, that was a different story. But then now for me, I'm thinking, what am I going to get? Which Jalen Hurts am I getting? Am I going to get a first half Jalen Hurts or am I going to get a second half dog? If I constantly have to think about that going into the offseason, me as a GM, I have to, because that's my duty, my responsibility. I have to think about another quarterback. You know what I mean? You got to. Whether it's free agency, whether it's the draft. If you feel that there's someone in there that can compete against Jalen in the offseason, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to the team, and it is your job to do it. So you have to. Like Coach said, Jalen isn't doing anything to run away with this position. So it's a toss-up. A lot of people are close to Jalen, but again, that fandom or that love for that one player, that won't take you far. Because, you can trust in that player, and if they falter, they don't play well, you'll have a fan, they'll have a fan, but they won't have a job. So, Jalen has to still improve. There's a lot of improvement. And you still have the offseason to make those improvements also. So far, I wouldn't make the move right now. We're not at the end of the year. I'm not thinking about it. But I do have a list of quarterbacks that I have just in case, because I will do my homework. I do have to do my due diligence. I'm responsible for this team. And if that's so, I need to bring in a backup for Jalen. I need someone that's going to compete against him, because I'm not seeing Jalen from first quarter to fourth quarter give it his all. I'm not seeing that. Now, if these next two games, we see Jalen coming off the blocks, great, commanding, we see the passion that he has, we see no mistakes, then I feel that, we can go into next year confident with him. I don't know what the situation with Minshew. I'm pretty sure he's locked in for another 2 years. So we have our backup. If you want to and you want to put that pressure on Jalen, you can just leave it as an open competition. Say between you and Gardner, fight it out. Then you prove yourself. You did it last year. We gave you that whole season. Don't take it as disrespect, because every year we want a competition, because we're not just giving positions away. So that's the route I would go. Right now, I would say you have a list of guys you have in mind, but right now you're standing firm with Jalen, and you're going to take Gardner into next season and have him compete against Jalen. See if Gardner can get 1 foot up on Jalen. Because, again, a lot of things can happen in the offseason. Jalen can slack off. Jalen can improve. We don't know. But that would be my move going forward with Jalen.
Yeah, and another thing I kind of want to throw in to for your point is it would be different if, like I said again, he's making the same mistakes over and over since day one, throwing the ball in double coverage, staring down his receivers, and throwing like when he's seeing one-on-one, but the next thing you're seeing a safety come over, which means you're not moving the safeties with your eyes. You're just getting baited. You're just getting baited with over the top coverage. He is making the same throws, same mistakes, and the receivers always, if you realize the receivers always trying to making a play. Just because the throw got that doesn't mean it's a good throw. It's the receivers are just making plays for him. And Jalen Hurts in the second half, he got more comfortable, but you want to see more consistency with his arm. You're not seeing the consistency. One game, you're seeing a great game from Jalen Hurts. Like I say, like the Washington football team, you saw a nearly perfect game. The interception made his stat sheet look ugly. The interception made it look ugly right there, because that's supposed to have been a call. But this game, he comes out looking sluggish, taking too long to look through his progressions, Then you decide when you decide when to run and when not to run. By the time he takes off, it's a sack fumble almost. We almost lost a possession. Then another possession before that, he runs out of the pocket. The ball could have been intercepted. All you had to do is at least throw it out of bounds. Why risk a turnover right there when you could have just kneeled on the ground or just throw it out of bounds? Those are the mistakes that we are talking about. If you're going to be a franchise quarterback, you cannot consistently make those mistakes. Throw the ball away if you're under pressure, or if you're scrambling out of pocket. Why not just run the football? Just run the ball. If you're going to scramble out anyway, just run the ball. Don't throw the ball in the coverage or try to fit it in the tight coverage. He's not a good enough quarterback to fit the ball in the tight windows yet. So, like I say, I mean, Jalen Hurts will decide these next two games if Howie Roseman's going to take a chance and say, "Hey, you're going to be our starter," or if Howie Roseman, or if you're even thinking about it, if he's thinking about it, hey, I don't know about this guy. Then get a quarterback, whether it's in a draft or a free agency. Just get a quarterback if you have to think. But if you know he's gonna be your guy, let's say Jalen Hurts, hey, you my guy. Go up to him and say, "You're my guy. I have faith in you." But if he doesn't know, then yeah, you just take a quarterback in, whether it's in the draft or free agency, if you don't know, and make them compete. Because any offseason you go to, it should be an open competition. No matter if you're a starter or if you're a backup, you should be an open competition, because competition bring the best up out of that player. It's supposed to bring the best up out of that player, and it proves also if you're willing to be a backup and be the man and wait your turn and stuff like that. It proves your real character is going to come out when you're losing a job or something like that. Your real character will come out. So everything in training camp should be an open competition. Nobody's job should be safe. Nobody should go in there. Just because I'm starting this season, I'm going to walk in there starting right now. No, everything should be open competition. But Jalen Hurts definitely decides for these next two games whether he be the starting quarterback, will we bring him back this year, next year or not.
Yeah. And the one thing to be said about this evaluation process, no one could actually say it's unfair because, like you said, Coach Dante, it's all up to Jalen Hurts. Him staying on this team, him being the leader, him being, the franchise guy, that's all dependent on him. Not on the coaching staff, not on the GM, all on him, because it's all dependent on his performance. But one segment I like to do every week, and it's always for the bad, never for the good. This is the first time, I can actually say that this segment can bring a smile to my face. Let me ask everybody, what's up with Coach Gannon? How did he do today? BLSG, my guy, I'll start off with you. What did you think of Coach Gannon today?
Well, like I said at the very beginning of the show, can we just give a round of applause to Jonathan Gannon, number one? Can we please just do that? Like, praise the Lord. Jonathan Gannon had a great game plan, finally figured it out. The defense is locking down, only allowed 10 points. It should have been 3 if they didn't allow a garbage time touchdown against the Giants. But keep in mind, they had all the backups in. They had Terry Jackson, they had Milton Williams, they had Zach McPherson. They had all those players. And honestly, technically, I would consider for the fact that they did only allowed 3 points. I'm not going to really worry about the 7 because that was mainly with every backup. But in terms of all the starters, they locked down in that Giants defense, and they only give up 3 points. And I'm not worried about the touchdown that gave up in garbage time. But hey, you know what, Jonathan Gannon? That's a great game plan right there, and that's a huge example. And you know what? We're gonna need that for Washington next week.
Definitely, we'll need that for Washington next week. Coach Dante, what did you think about the Eagles' defensive coordinator today?
I thought he did an excellent job, a flawless job. Besides, like I say, even though the Giants' offense is really, really bad, but I go back to the last weekend, how well the defense played as well. We realize how great the defense played as well last week. They didn't give up if the starting off the game, Dallas got to drop some pass that resulted in an interception, that resulted in a short field. That's not on the defense. That's on Dallas. Got to put in that defense in that situation for the Washington football team start with a short field. Then next possession, we go down the field. Jalen Hurts fumbles the football, and they picks the ball back up and run it again. That's another short field. Basically, it took one bomb to Terry McLaurin, and that's the only bomb he really got throughout the whole game. That's another short field right there. So 2 of the Eagles' turnovers resulted in the short fields, and after that, the football team didn't score no more until the fourth quarter. So other than that, I gave the defense 7 points on that possession. And then this week they only gave up 3. But really that the touchdown they got, like Bill as you said, that was a garbage time touchdown. That was with the backups. And so you really look at it, that's like 10 points. That's like 10 points the defense actually gave up. But other than that still counts. I thought the defense has been doing well, not well, but great. I thought Jonathan Gannon is making some huge adjustments. They're blitzing a lot. They're blitzing a lot more, even though you're not getting sacks, but you're still applying pressure on the quarterback, and you're busting plays up in the backfield. So this defense has been doing great, but we need them to keep it up going into Washington. That's going to be a different football team coming out. Probably mostly have most of their players back, so you're going to definitely see a more better Washington football team. You're going to see probably a better defense that's going to be probably good at making adjustments. But I like the way how he's adjusting and how he's coming out of halftime making adjustments, and how the defense just been on a roll. So I'm liking the defense so far.
Yeah, man, definitely. Foothills, what did you think of Murph from the Impractical Jokers on the sidelines this week?
Well, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense, especially the last 3 games. We had a bye in there for the last month, but I don't know. I think I just need to see more consistency out of the defense, as far as especially when we play, better offenses. With that, teams that actually have their starting quarterback, who actually have their full, or at least a very, a good cast of their starting members on the offensive side of the ball. So I need to see more consistency. I want to see him have more confidence in his corners and have them, play up closer to the line at times and not give so much space to the, and have not only confidence in his corners, but have confidence in the safeties behind them. The guys that can help over the top, things like that. But for the most part, you know what? I'm happy. I'm definitely happy, especially today. I seen a lot more push out of that defensive line. And to me, that's something that we've really been lacking, especially from the defensive end spot. So I like to see, Josh Sweat, Derek Barnett made a nice tackle in the backfield. He almost had a sack. I think at the end there, Glennon, I think, threw it into the ground when he was getting blitzed by Derek Barnett. For the most part, I'm happy. I just think that I'm not getting too overly hyped about Gannon to this point. I'm like, what I'm saying? I'm pumping the brakes a little bit.
Oh, like I said, I trash him every week with this segment. First time. Literally the first time where it's a good segment for him.
Good job, JG. Yeah. You doing your thing, my guy.
Gotta give him a little encouragement. Hopefully he can build off of that. Well, Papa, what did you think about Jonathan Gannon this week?
Yeah, I'm on the same train as Foothills. I liked what I saw. Definitely liked what I saw. But I definitely do need to see more from him. Whether that means he just needs more talent to see, or I guess whether that is you need to just give him more guys, better playmakers to get the full picture going, then fine. But yeah, I still think we need to see a bit more. Next 2 games are really telling. I'm more impressed, and not even just with this game. I'm more impressed with the progress of Sirianni. I want to know what I want to know what that halftime speech was, because halftime they were a completely different team.
Well, I don't know if everyone remembered last week when Sirianni got into Hurts' ear.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone saw that, but Sirianni, he was upset.
Yeah.
Jalen, for his credit, he did what you do. You listen to your coach. You don't disrespect. He looked away. He kept it going. But I know he got into his ear and into his head. I'm assuming a lot of that conversation came back up today.
I
The
think
bond is building because that's where Jalen, what Jalen's saying, I'm a coach's kid came from.
yeah, that's what I was
with
about to say. I
Sirianni-
saw on
yeah.
Twitter. I think it was like I'm a coach's kid. He likes being. It was either Jalen or Nick being like, oh, he keeps saying he's a coach's kid. He likes getting coached tough, so that's how he's going to coach.
And Nick said, I guess I'm just going to coach you like your dad now. So they're definitely building that chemistry. They're building that bond. And that's something that you really, really need. That definitely helps your team out quite a bit, tremendously, I would say, to have a really strong relationship between your quarterback and your head coach. So I'm loving to see that. And I'm loving to see Nick growing as a head coach, because he's not afraid to approach guys. He's not afraid to get in their face. He's not afraid to get through the nasty water, through the sewage and all that, to get into the clear, beautiful, ocean, to the clear sailing. So, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Nick. Definitely, that's a good point, Papa.
Yeah,
man. Nick said
especially
it before.
the fact that
sometimes
we
you
started
got to get
2-5.
and get down in there. You gotta water these little plants to see how they grow.
Yeah, like Papa said, we started 2-5. Look at us now. We're over 500 again. So, just to get back to 500 last week was a feat in its own. We've been hovering right around that mark, haven't been able to get to it, but we did. Now we're above it. Now we got the 7th seed. So let's just keep winning. We hold our own destiny now. The ball is definitely in our court. So let's just keep winning.
Yeah. VPS. Let me get your thoughts on Coach Gannon today.
Turn up the west side.
No, W. I'm just saying W.
West side.
W. No, I'm playing.
right,
yeah.
Are you gonna do the Jameis Winston where you eat the W?
Yeah, that's what I always call him Janus just because he's
I will
an
never
FSU.
do
I'm
that.
like, all right, Janus.
I will never eat a W like that. That dude, that's a wrong way to eat a W.
The only W I'm eating is a Whopper. That's the only W.
Yeah, for real. But to answer,
I would say something with their children on the street.
but to answer your
I know you're
question,
going with that one, Nick. I know you're going with that one.
to answer your question, Vic, I've been overly critical with Jonathan Gannon this entire season. I felt like his consistency this year, when he played a full roster of like an offense that was actually healthy and had players like that weren't backup quarterbacks and stuff. Like, who were we playing before? We played the dude from the Saints. What was his name? Trevor Siemian.
Trevor Siemian.
Yeah, we played guys like that. I'm not about to sit here and gloat when you're allowing a guy like that to score 28 points up against your defense. He played better today, though. He coached a lot better today. I felt like he played a little more prevent defense. He didn't allow anything deep. Last week he allowed one play deep. It's always been like that. He's been playing a lot more prevent defense. I still feel like he needs to blitz a little more. He blitzes like here and there, but he needs to blitz a little more. That's something I want to see from him. Jonathan Gannon, I felt like he had a good game today. He coached very well, but I want to see more consistency and play just a little more press. Play a little more man. Don't let anything down the field. You only let one thing down the field last game against Washington. Today, nothing was allowed down the field. And when it was allowed down the field, it was like late in the game when we were up by like 20. So I like what I've seen from him today, but play good against a good quarterback, please. That's all I want to know.
Yeah, there's a lot the remains to be seen. Well, let me ask you all this because, we do have 2 games left. There is a possibility that we can get into the playoffs. Going forward, how do you think this is going to play out? How do you see the Eagles ending this season? BLSG, I'll start off with you.
I mean, no lie, man. There's honestly potential that we can get into the playoffs because next week we have Washington. And if Gannon, in terms of the defense, has had the same mindset that he had today in terms of what he's going to run, and if it works out this way and if it executes this way, we honestly do have a chance of making the playoffs. Now, in terms of the offense, Sirianni, man. I mean, in terms of the offense, everybody they got to do their part, but we got to score earlier. We can't just have we just can't have second half big performances like that. We need big performances from start to finish, first quarter to fourth quarter, the first 15 minutes to the last 15 minutes. We need good performances all around. So we need to do that to Washington, and then same thing to the Cowboys, because our only chance of making the playoffs is winning out. We can't lose one game to honestly have a chance to at least a 7th seed or maybe a 6th seed, depending how San Fran ends up. So at the end of the day, if we could do that and win out on this season, then I would honestly be really happy. And how good on a scale of 1 to 10 do you guys think 8-7 is with a rookie head coach?
Not just that, a rebuilding team. That's
when you compare it to other rookie coaches, you would have to say it's a good season.
Very
You
good.
see coaches
Let's hear
coming in with 3 wins, 4 wins, and owners or front office are happy for the next season going forward. They're going to get built off of that. If our coach is starting off with an 8-9 win season, you have to be extremely happy with that. You know what I mean? Like, especially
I'm not gonna lie. It's really good for Sirianni to have 8 wins on his belt as a rookie head coach. This man was an offensive coordinator last year. This guy had no head coaching experience going into this year, and this man's already got 8 wins, as well as driving game for the defensive coordinator. So, but no lie in terms of Sirianni for the offense, just leading this offense and mainly this whole team at 8-7 right now. I can honestly be real happy with the way Sirianni's coached this season.
Listen, Nick got more wins than what Doug did last year. He doubled up that win total.
Last year,
you look at other head coaches right now.
He had more
wins. He's got the same as Brandon Staley from the Chargers.
Yep.
He's doing. Jags have the first pick, and they fired their rookie head coach, Urban Meyer. Robert Saleh's got what, 3 wins?
Atlanta Falcons too. They got
Falcons. They've got a losing record.
Yep.
I think you could honestly put in an argument for Sirianni being the best hire.
Talk about it, Papa. Stay on track.
You could put in an argument.
Did someone say
I
Nick
truly think
Sirianni
between him and Brandon.
Well,
honestly, I feel like his name could be put. Do I think he'll win it? Probably not. But I feel like you could put his name in there.
Yeah, I think you definitely have to put his name in there.
Especially again, we started at 2-5.
Started 2-5, and look at him now.
Yeah,
I mean, I wish
from week 1 to now is vast.
I wish they did it for rookie head coaches. Who was the best rookie head coach?
Rookie head coach of the year.
That would have been a little more fair for him because he would have won it. I mean,
he would have, yeah, because there's maybe been 1 or 2 games that have been blowouts. With Chargers have had a couple of blowouts. So yeah, I would say that we've got the better rookie head coach.
Definitely, yeah. How many rookie coaches can come in with 9 wins and a possible playoff berth? Because if we get into the playoffs, that's 10 wins with a playoff berth.
That's why I'm happy for Sirianni this season, the way he's coached this team.
We haven't gotten
with that, I think with that, you have to expect a lot from him. Like next season, we're going into the second round or we're getting into the NFC Championship game. Like those are the expectations you have to have. If your first season is going into the playoffs, and if we make noise in the playoffs, that's only going to raise those expectations.
Exactly.
NFC Championship game next year, I don't know about that. Divisional round, hell yes.
So, well, I'm just saying, if we were to get to a certain point, that would be the next drop off. If you win 2 games,
third year.
You're looking at this guy like, all right, gotta do better.
Rebuilding, we're winning. We have 3 first-round draft picks. We have rookie everything, and we're looking damn good.
Yep.
The 1 year, everybody got the 1 year of saying we're a poverty franchise in our division, whatever, yada, yada, yada. That's 1 bad year. We have 3 first-round picks. Granted, we do have a dumbass making them. We're rebuilding, but we're winning. We have won games. We've doubled our win percentage last year. Last year, there were the losses that we had, majority of them were all blowouts. This year, the losses we have, 1, maybe 2 of them were only blowouts. Every other one has been really, really close. Chargers came down to a field goal.
The Niners game came down to. We should have won that game if we ran the ball.
We have definitely been.
We had 3 opportunities to score.
Hell of a better team this year.
the Cowboys game, that was like the only blowout, I would say.
Yeah, that was the only blowout.
That was like our biggest blowout, like by 3 touchdowns.
And we ran the ball only 3 times that game. So imagine if we ran the ball more in that game. It would have been a lot
Exactly.
more.
So yeah.
Foothill's my guy. What do you think about the coach?
Split.
About Sirianni?
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, he's definitely growing. The flower is blossoming, so to speak, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. You know, he's building a relationship with his starting quarterback right now, and you know, he's understanding the identity of this football team, and that's running the football. You know, winning at the line of scrimmage, like we talked about, running the ball, and not trying to do too much at times. I mean, obviously, we see some of the play calling. We're scratching our heads a little bit, but then we see those drives where we're liking the play calling. We're like, yes, that's a great play call. Like there was a 3rd and short where they faked it to Howard and they hit Goddard on a little out pass, for the first down. That's a great play call right there. You lure the defense in with the inside run, and you hit the outskirts with the pass to your one of your primary targets, because Gotti definitely is continuing to do his thing, and I think we're gonna continue to really, really enjoy what we see out of Dallas Goedert, because as far as a complete all around tight end, he definitely is in that. He's in that conversation, because this guy can, we've seen him. You run after the catch. He's obviously got great hands when he looks it into his hands and he secures it. He's obviously, sometimes he gets a little antsy and he looks upfield first, but that's things that can be coached out of him, definitely, I think, and the more and more he works on it, it'll get better. But as far as Sirianni, though, to go back to your question, Vic, I'm definitely, I think he's pretty much reached my expectations. The 8 wins was like, I think my right around that mid range for me. I think I had them anywhere from 7 and 10 to possibly 10 and 7. Maybe that 9 and 8 range. So we get another
10 and 7 for mine.
Yeah. So I think that was us having overly high expectations for a rookie head coach with a rookie defensive coordinator and all of the things that are mixed in with this football team this year. I think he's doing a great job.
Look at it now, man. Look at it now. Starting out 2-5, and look at it.
Exactly. So keep, Sirianni. If any of his camp is listening, keep rocking the t-shirts. Keep up the good vibes with the football team, and we're just going to keep doing our thing. And you're doing a great job. I think he's doing it on a way. I think like I said, he has definitely overly surpassed my expectations this year.
Yeah, I think he has.
And #flowers everywhere.
Coach, what do you think about Sirianni and the team going forward? Coach, you're muted.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. First of all, I think Nick Sirianni had made some great adjustments this year. 8 wins is actually an accomplishment win for him this year. He should be definitely in the coach of the year consideration, that we got a young team and everything. And, he's coaching the guys up well. He's learning how to make adjustments ever since, we put pressure on him, to run the ball. He's been doing that ever since. And we've been top of the football world running the football. And it's good to see him adjusting and growing and taking this offense moving forward. But on the flip side of it, what I see for this team going forward, this is the problem with I disagree with the fans for the Philadelphia Eagles. Much as we hate the Cowboys, we need to stop worrying about what the goddamn Cowboys are doing. Because right now, the Cowboys are going to win this division. So we got no right to worry about them and saying they're suck and just worrying about them. We need to focus on us being in the driver's seat right now. And in that 7th seed, we control our own destiny. We can't worry about who Minnesota play. We can't worry about if the Saints are going to win. We need to worry about what. Hey, come on, Dolphins. We not worrying about. We not. I'm not cheering for the Dolphins. I don't care who win that game. I care about going and getting the next win. That's against the Washington football. That's a team I'm focused on. We getting caught up in arguing with Dallas too much and started and saying this team suck. Right now they're winning the division. They're in a position, like I said again, they don't have to play their starters, but again, they who says they can still knock us off. So it's a lot of pressure on us. We're not officially in the playoffs. They're officially in the playoffs. With 2 more losses, they still can be put in it. We're officially not in. They're officially in. So right now, we can't come out underestimating the Washington football team. Oh, look at this team. They may be 6-9. They suck. They don't have this quarterback sucks. But we got at the same time, we got to get on that field. We got to play that team. And we know division rivalries are tough to play. They're gonna have probably their full team. They're gonna have probably Heineke, who's better probably than Garrett Gilbert, who we all know who we can say he's better than Garrett Gilbert. They probably gonna have a better established running game. We never know, but we just gotta get out there on that field and play. And we gotta pick up where we left off on coming today. It was a great win today, but we gotta beat a good quarterback. We have not beaten a good quarterback this year at all. I don't think we've beaten a good quarterback this year at all. And it was only 2 games we literally got blown out in. That was against Dallas, which I didn't think from the start. We got punched in the mouth and we didn't recover. And the Oakland Raiders, we scored in garbage time against Oakland. We got dominated against Oakland. So those are the 2 blowouts that we actually had. But right now, man, I'm focusing on the Washington football team. So I don't talk too much about Dallas Cowboys. I'm not worrying about Dallas Cowboys. I care about this team going into Washington and winning a football game. And it's gonna have to be on Jalen Hurts' shoulder. He's gonna have to prove time. And each week, each practice, it's pressure on Jalen Hurts. It's pressure on him. He's the key for this team to make the playoffs. Coaching is the key, but the offense, it can't start the way it started today. It can't start the way it started. We don't want to have to wait till the 3rd quarter just to put a damn touchdown on the board and have to adjust. We have to adjust all 4 quarters and play hard all 4 quarters. And that relies on Jalen Hurts. He's the quarterback. He's the leader. At the end of the day, when we win football games, he's going to get credit. When we lose football games, he's going to be taking the blame. So at the end of the day, it's pressure on him. It's pressure on him anyway. He's the leader, and he has to continue to prove. He has to prove that he's deserving another shot of being the quarterback of this football team. So it's a lot of pressure on this team. It's a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts. Yes, we got the 7th spot right now, but we got to focus on the Washington football team. We can't focus on the damn Dallas Cowboys because right now they're winning the division. They're in the playoffs as we speak, and we're still in the 7th seed. And we control our own destiny. And this is what a janky about it and stuff like that. So we gotta take this momentum and go and play Washington, which is going to be another tough game this coming weekend.
Yeah, I agree. We can't overlook. We can't overlook Washington. If we're going to be focused, then our focus has to be solely on Washington right now. We can't worry about anyone else or other outcomes or who else needs to lose for us to make it to the playoffs. Our focus needs to be on attacking Heineke, stopping, Gibson and McKessick if he's playing, and controlling McLaurin.
Yeah, and kudos to Sirianni, for rallying the troops at halftime because we had on the offensive side of the ball, especially, we were asleep. They look like absolute dog shit. Only putting up. Well, you mean what? We should have had 6. Elliott missed a field goal, so really only getting 3 points. So, whatever he said, he just needs to say it before the game instead of waiting till halftime. Just rally the guys up before the game, make sure we're on point to start the game as far as having a good balanced play calling. But kudos to Sirianni, like I said, for really, because there's not a lot of coaches out there that can rally their guys like that with a young team like we have.
Yeah, I agree. Nick Sirianni knows how to rally the troops, but what he needs to do is get those troops prepared for war.
Right. Exactly.
You
You said it well.
we shouldn't have to rally. We should be the guys up front with a comfortable lead. But BLSG, my guy, I didn't get to hear your opinion. What do you think about Coach Sirianni going forward?
I think if he can, in terms of the play calling, if he can have the performance that he had today, I really think he has a chance of leading the team into the playoffs. And honestly, the way he's looked right now, he's looked really good for a rookie head coach right now, like I said before. And if he keeps this up, he can lead us into that wild card spot and potentially give us a 6 or 7 seed in the wild card right now.
Yeah, definitely. It would be great if it would happen. For me, I like what I see out of Coach Nick Sirianni. I've said it from the beginning till now. You want to see progression, and I think we've seen that. We've seen a steady progression from week 1 till now. We all know in the beginning of the season we had issues running the ball. By week 4 and 5, Sirianni finally got the hint, and since then we've been one of the best rushing teams in the NFL. We'd had issues with Jalen Hurts. He reverted him back to a manager, just a regular field manager. Hurts got the hint. He developed. Yeah, he has some slumps like we've seen earlier in the first half. But then you also see, like I said before, Nick Sirianni getting in Jalen's face and letting him know specifically what he did wrong and letting him know that he's not happy about it. And that can't be going forward. So, I think Nick has got the confidence you need in order to be that head coach that you want. I think that he's going to get this team in line. The only thing I have an issue is we all talked about it. Slow starters. That's the one thing that the last thing in Nick Sirianni's development plan that he needs to work on. He needs to get these guys prepared from the beginning of the game, from the first quarter, all the way up until the last quarter. Until that clock runs down to 0, that's where we need to be playing at 100%. When he gets that done, then I have no problems with the coach. Other than, staff, maybe some issues there. Jonathan Gannon, main one. But going forward, I'm very pleased with what I see out this coach. I'm happy with him being the coach going forward. Like I said, I hope he's able to clean up those small issues, especially with the personnel department. I think it's time we move on from this defensive coordinator, even though he had a good game today. I don't know how well he would do going forward. If the opportunity, like I said, this is like my holy prayer, my Hail Mary prayer. If Mike Zimmer would be released from the Vikings, we would end up acquiring him as our new defensive coordinator. I doubt that it would happen. That's why I call it a Hail Mary wish. But BPS, you had something to say about Gannon. I see you itching. Go ahead.
So y'all know that I'm an overly critic of Jonathan Gannon. What's going on, Nate? But I'm very overly
as much as you love Daniel Jones. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm a big critic of Jonathan Gannon. But from what Papa Sora said earlier,
don't throw me into this.
Right.
Jonathan Gannon this season, he is a rookie defensive coordinator, and
I don't give a shit. I still want him fired.
He has limited pieces around him. You have Singleton, Taylor, what do you have? TJ Edwards. There's not really a definite in that defense, and you have Fletcher Cox. You have Slay. Slay, he's solidified. Fletcher Cox right now, it's like the downwards of his time. He's starting to decline. So
it's the twilight of his career, yeah.
But he was put in a position where he doesn't have a 3-down defensive end. Brandon Graham got injured week 2. What 3-down defensive end do you have on that defensive line?
I love how you listen. I love how you would stick up for Fletch. Listen, I'm gonna let it go. Stick up for the guy.
I don't see a guy other than Slay, and Slay's not even elite. He's a good player. Slay is a good corner. He's not elite. He's not a range.
I see it. I see it. You want the rebuttal.
But he was put in a position where he was limited. He doesn't have a ton of pieces around him. Marcus Epps, he's having a really good season. Did you see the hit that he put on the one dude earlier?
Yes.
Really hard. But he has had average players around him. He's had a couple good players like Cox and Slay and Hargrave. But those are players that are getting to their age, that age point where they're starting to get old and they might decline. Like Cox, Hargrave, he's not declining. He's still a little bit young. And Slay, he's really doing good this year. I would have loved him to have that one interception, but yeah,
The sun was in his eyes, my guy.
But my point was he's limited.
And again, another example I want to bring up now. You see a prime example what happened when you overlook a team and when you're in a playoff hunt. My Texans beat the hell out the Chargers today, and everybody had the Chargers winning that football game. I'm pretty much sure. But that's what happens when you overlook somebody so bad. And you see right now the Chargers on the outside looking in now. That loss may hurt them. That loss might come back to bite them. Now that's why I say we got to be careful going into this game right here. Yes, the Washington football team are 6-8. They maybe not, maybe 6-9 right out the gate. Don't let record fool you guys. Some teams play better than what the record seems. Plus, that's a division rivalry. But that loss for the Chargers may be to put them out the playoffs fully. It depends on what happens. We can't look for help. We cannot look for help. We gotta go out there. We control our own destiny. We gotta go out there and win and do it for all 4 quarters. So we don't have the nerve to come out and say, hey, we're gonna run all over them. We're gonna win. We're gonna go. This is a for sure win. You got to play every team as they are a good football team, because everybody out here getting paid. Everybody here, players trying to make rosters. You got coaches trying to prove themselves. You got players still playing for their head coaches, and you got especially those non-playoff teams. They're gonna still play hard. They're gonna still come out and play hard. They're not gonna lay down. You got to go take it, and that's what I don't want to see for the Philadelphia Eagles right now. I don't want them coming in underestimating this team. And we're going to Washington, and that's not an easy play. That's not an easy place to play. So they got to come in focused. Jalen Hurts got to come in ready. Jonathan Gannon got to come in ready. Everybody got to come in ready from start to finish. We cannot start this game out. We get goddamn shut out on a touchdown and expect to have a big third quarter. Expect that's going to happen again. Washington is better than New York. They're better than New York. They're better than New York. So we don't have the right to come out and just say we're gonna beat this team to death, because they're gonna have all their players, and we gotta come out ready to play. We gotta come out ready to play. Right now, we can't look at what the Saints are doing. We can't look at what Minnesota's doing. We just gotta go focus on Washington. That's all we need to just focus on. Just focus on getting a win and get one step closer. But right now, I like the way this team is going. I like the way Nick Sirianni is making the adjustments into this offense and getting in Jalen Hurts' space. Sometimes it takes a coach to get in a quarterback, get in someone's face, and then let them know how they feel, and just to let them know, hey, I'm not feeling this. You're not playing well right now. And just to let them know, they can take it personal if they want to. But at the end of the day, we trying to get a win. We trying to do whatever it takes to get a goddamn victory and get to the playoffs. Right now, my focus is on the football team and the Cowboys, not playoffs. The football team and the Cowboys, and the two teams that's in front of us right now, and one is in the football team is in front of us this weekend. So that's all my focus on. But we cannot come out and estimate the Washington football team.
And another thing to note on what you just said, Dante, is the last time we played Washington, which was like literally this past week, they had most of their team on COVID-19. I can't say that. The C-19 word. But you get what I'm saying, though. The reserve list. They were put on the reserve list. They had so many guys, like 25 plus guys were put on the C-19 reserve list. So it's more like they had no guys out there playing for them. They had a couple of their starters, but they had Gilbert, who looked pretty good against us when we played him. He was going to that check down. He kept going to Antonio Gibson. So imagine if you have Heineke out there now with McLaurin, who's going to be fully healthy this week against our defense. So I got to see what the defense looks like again this week. I think if we don't do good against them, we're going to start questioning Gannon again. And then these same, like, firing him rumors and stuff is just going to pop back up.
Well, not just only Gannon. They're going to talk about Sirianni, and they're definitely going to bring in
Hurts.
Jalen Hurts and then the Minshew thing. But just to touch on your point, Coach, you're exactly right. Records do not matter, because the Washington football team went up against the Buccaneers, and I believe at the time they may have been 3-4 wins. That's it. They handled the Bucks. I think they played against the Rams also. They won against the Rams. These are, teams that are considered Super Bowl contenders. Washington had no problem. The Rams and Tampa Bay, they were frustrated when they played against them. They were beat physically.
They didn't play.
When you look at Tampa's defense, it's hard to say that they were beating physically. But Washington did that. We can't sleep on that team. We can't think that it's an easy win because I guarantee you we will end up with a loss. And it would be a loss that would be devastating.
They didn't play the Rams.
Wasn't the Rams? Who was the other one that they beat? I know they beat. It was the Buccaneers. I thought it was the Rams. It was another quality NFC team.
I gotta go check their schedule again.
Yeah, but it was definitely they definitely outplayed pinpointed the Buccaneers. And then, like I say again, just how you saw earlier when Jalen Hurts fumbled that football, you saw everybody start wanting Jalen Hurts' head, and you wanted Minshew to get in the game. That's what Jalen Hurts is going to hear every time he makes a mistake. Where if he fumbles the football, he gets sacked. Or easy, even if he gets a strip sack, we still recover the fumble. That's what you're gonna keep hearing from Jalen Hurts. You're gonna hear more bad than the more good because that's what you get when you're not fully when you're not fully into hooch of a starting quarterback. When your coach basically has not came out and said this guy's the guy, that means you're still in the competition pretty much. You're just still waiting on Gardner Minshew. You're just still Gardner Minshew got right there. Gardner Minshew right there. If he's struggling, and that's what if you're a quarterback, you say you block that out, but you damn sure listen to it. You damn sure be hearing it, and you'll be listening to it. So that's one thing that be's on your mind when you're a quarterback. I got to go out here to try to prove, hey, I'm the starting guy. So I'm gonna get in my head, hey, I'm got to do too much. I got to make this play. I got to try to make this play. When you really don't. When you're really a game manager, just don't hurt the team by turning the ball over. Just don't hurt the team by looking at your progressions too late and staring down one receiver. If you're going to run, don't wait to run out of the pocket too late just to fumble a football. If you're going to get sacked, hold it. You got to know, cover up the football. Cover the football up. Take the football down with you. Those are the mistakes that we've been seeing early in the season that he's out there still making. Double coverage throws. You're trying to fit the ball in a tight window, something you're not really good at. And yet, those are the mistakes that's going to get a quarterback drafted in your place, and you're going to get frustrated or get you playing off the field. Those are the same type of mistakes, and he's been making those mistakes all year. So can we really say he's improving or he's regressing? Because you have seen enough games to know what Jalen Hurts is about. You have what type of quarterback he is. You've seen 4 games last year. Now you've seen 16 games. So that's a total of 20 games you have seen enough to evaluate Jalen Hurts. You have seen pretty much enough know what type of quarterback this guy is. So like I say, every game he goes to, the 2 games he goes to, he's still on the evaluation. Even if we do make the playoffs, that game will definitely be on the evaluation as well. So it's a lot of pressure going in on this guy right now.
By the way, Vic, before you go, I was just gonna say the Raiders.
You froze up. I didn't get to hear what you were saying.
Yeah, the Raiders game. That's the one that they beat. The other team that they beat, like the most impressive win for them, the Raiders. And what was more impressive when they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was they played zone coverage against Brady, and that's where Brady would beat you down in, like those little crosser routes where he can find the middle of the field. He'll beat you there. But they played zone and they still won that game, which was very impressive.
Yeah, when Washington's back up against the wall with the players,
something that Jalen Hurts basically struggles against zone coverages, but like that's still basic coverages that you've been seeing since college. I mean, when you in zone, you got the middle of the field wide open every single time. You got crossing routes wide open, but he goes deep. And rather throw it into double coverage, trying to fit the ball to Devontae Smith instead of looking at his other progressions. And the middle of the field always open on a zone defense every single time. When you're on a zone defense, when you're looking at a zone, you got to realize they have over the top coverage every time in a zone defense. That is not one-on-one defense. You're having an over the top. You're having a safety come playing over the top every single time. That's why some of these quarterbacks are really, really good or someone that say that they're number one cornerbacks. That's how Josh Norman got exposed. He was a zone coverage because Panthers, they play zone coverage all the time. They play zone coverage all the time. That's why Byron Maxwell stunk so bad against us. With us, he wasn't the one-on-one coverage corner. He was a zone scheme type of cornerback. He was a zone scheme type of cornerback. So again, that's what
What
Jalen
about
Hurts
Byron Jones?
zone defense.
Byron Jones for the Cowboys. Right now, he doesn't look good at all with the Dolphins.
Namdi Asamoah.
Yep, another
Namdi
one.
Asamoah is another guy. You know, and that goes back to what I was saying before. It's great to pick up a free agent, but it all depends on the scheme and if they fit
Yeah.
within that scheme. The Giants made the decision to get in Bradbury. Look how much they should be regretting that now. He was a scheme fit, and he's not a fit for the Giants scheme. You know, they had to literally change their defense just to accommodate him last year, and it looks like they're kind of doing that this year too. All depends on what you get. But let me ask you all this question because we touched on Jalen. We don't know what his future holds. Let me ask you about another player on this team because his future's a little muddy for us. Miles Sanders. We've seen when he gets the ball and the opportunity, he gets some good chunks. He hasn't gotten in the end zone as much this year. But one thing that he has this season is he's constantly injured. He's injured today. I don't know what the extent of the injury is, but it was enough for him to get out of pads and sideline.
It was a hand.
What was his injury?
It was a hand.
What did they say specifically?
Like it was his. They wrapped his hand up. They were like with the white thing, the bubble wraps or whatever. But they wrapped it up.
Did they say if it was broken or anything?
No, they didn't say anything was wrong with it. They just said he might play next week. They just said that they put like something on it to keep him like, a little bit comfortable. But he still looked like off the field.
Listen, I know, a lot of people have love for Miles and they see the potential and the things that he could possibly do. But one thing you can't deny is he's constantly injured. He's never on the field all the time. What do you think about Sanders? Does he have a future with the Eagles going forward? Will this be his last year? Will next year be a prove it or lose it year for him? What do you all think? I'll start off with you, BPS.
My thing with Sanders is he's definitely a fit to this offense. He fits everything that Nick Sirianni wants. He fits Nick Sirianni's offense. The problem is he can't stay on the field. That might lead them to getting him off this team because you still have Gainwell in the depth chart, and he might be your future running back if you get rid of Sanders. But he's a fit. He just doesn't stay on the field. That's how I look at Sanders. He's a very good fit, just doesn't ever stay on the field.
Yeah. Papa, what do you think of the Eagles running back? Do you think he has a future here, or is his time running out?
I definitely think like what Big Play said, I definitely think next year is going to be a prove it or lose it deal. When he's on, yeah, he can fit the scheme. He fits what Sirianni wants to do. We've seen him get the big runs that we've needed. We've seen him kind of, I don't want to say improve, but kind of get back into the groove throughout the year. But I mean, yeah, it's got a main problem is just staying healthy and not coughing up the ball. So I hope so, but next year is definitely going to be a prove it deal or a prove it year.
Coach, what do you think about Miles? Is he here for the long term, or is it just for now?
I don't know if he's here for long term because, again, he's always injured. But what's so strange, he almost hit 1,000 yards. A person that have that damn many yards but don't have a touchdown, and that's just a strange stat to me right there. But he definitely fits the scheme and what they want to do. He definitely can. He definitely a two-way running back. He definitely can catch passes out of the backfield, run between tackles. Kenny Gainwell is more of a pass-catching receiver type running back. So he does. So like I say, but the problem is his availability is not always there. So don't be surprised if they look the franchise tag him, put him on a franchise tag or something like that, just for a 1 year proven deal, just to see if he can stay healthy. Or they're going to get into it, or he might not want to take a franchise tag, or he might want to move to go somewhere else. But I definitely think he fits the scheme. It's just he's not always on the field. He's not always on the field. But right now, man, the man was hot. The man was hotter than hot pocket out there, and the guy was just the guy was just on fire, man. He was just on fire. So he definitely do fit the scheme, whether they're throwing it or running the ball. The problem is he's just not always healthy. He just needs to stay healthy. But I can definitely see them putting on a franchise tag for him this year and bringing him back another season just to prove that he can stay on the field. But if he cannot stay on the field, they'll probably let him walk. They'll probably have no problem letting him walk. But I think that's a guy you definitely got to hold on to.
Yeah, definitely. BPS, my guy. What do you think the future holds for I should not BPS, the LSG? I always do that. What do you think the future holds for Miles Sanders?
To me, honestly, it's iffy because if next year, if Miles Sanders is healthy, he can stay with this offense. I mean, but if he gets injured, like going forward in his career, like I say you get him out. And honestly, you could compare this situation to the Giants with Saquon right now. Except Saquon is really not on the like trade block to get out. I don't think yet, but if Miles is honestly like, if he's gonna keep getting injured, similar to Saquon, but like if he's gonna keep doing that in this case, then it's iffy for me right now. But if he gets injured, like going forward, I say you get him out because we can't take any more of these injuries. And you have younger guys like Kenny Gainwell. You have an experienced guy in Jordan Howard, and I think you could roll with that, or maybe get a free agent running back or someone like that in the free agency or the draft. So it's a little iffy for me right now. So I really can't decide if Miles should stay or go.
Yeah, it is a tough decision because, like everyone's saying, when Miles is playing, he's a scheme fit. He gets the ball and he gets good yardage. But for me, my issues with Miles is the fumbling issue. You gotta keep hold of the ball. Also, is the fact that we all mentioned he's not always on the field, and I understand injuries are something that you can control, but at the same time, these little nicks and bangs, like that has to come to an end somehow. We need someone who's going to be healthy and constantly on the field, because you can only produce when you're on the field. Now, we don't even know going into next two games, which are very important for us. We don't even know if we're going to have him. We need to be able to depend on someone. Jordan Howard was another running back that got hurt. I don't know the extent of his injury, but
it's a
he didn't play that much.
Shoulder.
Back to the shoulder with him?
Yep.
So that's a reoccurring injury for Jordan Howard.
Yeah, he was holding his arm. So it's like he kind of like when he was walking like to the locker room, he was more sort of like holding his arm, trying to protect it. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, and the thing is, we shouldn't be depending on Jordan Howard. He's not our number one guy. That's Miles. And again, we need to depend on our number one guy, and he's not there, or possibly could not be there. And as we all discussed before, it's kind of weird to see, a running back with so many yards as Miles has, with nowhere near the amount of touchdowns as he should have. A lot of that for me is about him.
Who's the quarterback though, Vic? Jalen Hurts. He gets most of the touchdowns.
All right, but let me ask you a question though. Mark Ingram, he was a fantasy darling when he was with Baltimore, right? And who was his quarterback? What did his quarterback do?
Joe Flacco, I think.
Right. Yeah, Lamar Jackson.
It definitely wasn't some quarterback named Lamar Jackson, though. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I can't put too much blame on the quarterback and saying because Jalen likes to run the ball. And listen, that's the situation, and Jalen takes the situation for what it is, and he scores the ball. Now, Miles has had many opportunities. Why hasn't Miles turned those opportunities into some tutties? Those are things you got to focus on. I understand a lot of people see that, he can be pretty good, but when push comes to shove, you need those tough yards. Getting that first down, getting that touchdown. Those are things that Miles doesn't really do good at. He does great at a lot of things, but not those two things specifically. Now, I'm not saying we should get rid of Miles. By all means, I'm not. I think Miles is a pretty good, running back. I think you give him next year, but you might want to give him next year with another running back behind him, especially when you just picked up in the draft a good running back. Because, like I said, if Miles is hurt next season, then that to re-sign him is out of the question. There's no need to. We see the Giants with Saquon. How many times has he been injured? He's nowhere near or had the injuries that Saquon Barkley has, but the Giants are still trying to hold on to him. And look at what will happen. They're going to make a huge mistake by doing that because, as we all know, Barkley will eventually get hurt again. And the Giants put too much into Saquon. And that'll be their whole season. Again, I don't want the Eagles to be in that position. I want the Eagles to make players aware that if you don't perform or if you're not on the field, whether it's your fault or not, there will be someone else behind you that will take that position away from you. And it won't come back. Because again, you have to be on the field to produce. You know, it's tough for Miles. You know, like I said, he's a fan favorite, but you got to make some tough decisions. You know, you gotta put a stern face on. You can't always, you know, let these players get the benefit of the doubt because after a while they think that if they're not performing, they're still doing enough to stay around. And I don't want that thought creeping into anyone's mind around here.
That's a smart man right there. I don't know who posted that comment, but that's a smart comment.
Yeah, but like for Saquon's perspective though, could you blame him though? Like every single time he gets the ball, the offensive line for the Giants is already smoked. Like the defensive line has gotten up to Saquon before the offensive line can even block for him. As soon as he gets the ball, he has like 4 pass rushers already swarming him, and no offensive lineman is blocking for him. He has no go. Like it's easier for Sanders because Sanders actually has a competent offensive line, probably the best in the NFL. But Saquon, he has an offensive line that as soon as they block, they already are beat. And you can't run behind the offensive line like that. You can't make splash plays like that.
Well, just to say something for Saquon, I don't want to stick up for him, but you got to also think who is his quarterback and why is his quarterback not checking out of plays when you can clearly see there's 9 men in the box. They don't give a damn about our receivers. Maybe I should call out and stay in this formation, but call out into a play where maybe a tight end is running down the seam. Maybe a wide receiver has, you know, a post route that they won't pick up. That's all on the quarterback too. You know, you do got to give it on Saquon because when the ball's in your hands, you got to produce. You got to get those yards. But again, a lot of the times I feel that they put him in a horrible position. You know, they misused him his whole career. They misused him. And that's the reason why he's in the position he is, because of the misuse. You know, all those injuries because of how many carries year in and year out that they've given him with no line help. So, you know, for Saquon, you know, it's an unfortunate situation, but, you know, I think that they're going to stick with him when they shouldn't. But I don't want to be in that position where we're sticking with a player just for what he did in the past, not what he can do in the future. And I think that's the problem that Miles brings up.
I got a question, and I know how you stand on this, Vic, but for the rest of the folks in the chat or in the panel, do you guys think we need a possession type of receiver?
Do what now?
A possession receiver in the draft. Like a Drake London from USC, a tall, physical possession.
Okay, so a big-bodied X receiver.
Yeah, a big-bodied receiver where you could just throw the ball up. I think that's something.
Does it have to be draft or can it be free agency?
Yeah, because I always liked Allen Robinson.
Yeah. I was going to say, I would go more veteran.
I don't know.
I would go more to the veteran side.
I'm going more veteran. Get that veteran wide receiver.
What about you, Coach? What are you going with, a veteran or are you going with a rookie?
I'd rather go veteran. Because free agency dictates what you do in the draft. Free agency always dictates to what you do in the draft. Like, just say, for instance, the Texans get a quarterback in free agency. That dictate what they do into the draft. What if they get one or not, which is if they do get a quarterback in free agency, I think that dictates that their chances of getting one in that first within that third pick. But they also may still get one in the later round. So again, free agency dictate what you do in the draft. So I think I would rather go with a veteran receiver. Allen Robinson could be a number 1 wide receiver. He can be turning into all of a sudden a number 1 wide receiver if we were to dare get him from Chicago, because it's clearly he's not going to be there in Chicago no more. But I would rather take a veteran wide receiver to help this locker room out, to help these young guys out, show these young guys how to be a pro, and get some veteran leadership in that locker room and add some veteran leadership in that core, in that receiver room. So I'd rather go with a veteran. My options will always be open first in free agency before I even discuss draft, because free agency is going to dictate what you draft and what you do in the draft. Same thing with Howie Roseman. He looks at that free agent class, see what he gets in free agency. And if he gets that position in free agency, you never know. It might not be that position, might not be no more in the draft, or he can still pick it up in the draft. So, like I said, we'll find out. But I'd rather get one in free agency than the draft. A veteran. I'd rather go for that any day than the draft.
Sounds good. Let me ask you a question. We all talked about Washington. We know, they're going to have their guys back. We know that they can, play hard. That's one thing about them that you can't say. They don't give away plays. They don't take off any plays. They're a hard fighting team. Let me get your predictions on, next week's game and a score also. I'll start off with you, BPS. What do you think, will happen next week?
Yeah, I think we're gonna lose this game personally. I think it's at Washington, FedEx Field. They're getting most of the guys that we didn't get to see when we played them this past week. So I personally think this time they execute and get the win. You saw in that first half, they played very competitive. They competed with us, and we were playing sluggish. So imagine if they get most of their starters back against us and see what they can do on offense with Heineke. And Heineke can actually throw a good football, unlike Garrett Gilbert. He's okay, but he's not no starting quarterback. Heineke is okay. I want to see what we can do against him. I think we should blitz him. If we blitz him and we don't let anything down the field, then we win this game. But if we don't do that and we let the check down open to Gibson, and we let like the middle of the field open for him to work in, then we lose this game. And if they just gash us with that running game, then we're probably gonna lose this game.
Ooh, that's a scary assessment, my guy.
Hey, I want
Papa.
to win though. I want.
Papa, can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I
Papa,
hear
can
you.
you hear me now?
Yeah.
Let me get your thoughts. What do you think's going to happen when we face the Washington football team this week? What is your final score prediction? Also,
Yeah, I mean, definitely going to be tougher, like Slay said. Yes, they're getting most of their guys back, but most of the guys that were out, well, yes, Heineke was one of them. Offense, it was mostly on offense. So defense, we should be seeing the same defense that we did Tuesday. And we're actually not really, but we're actually getting somewhat of a break this time. So we'll have time to kind of recess, celebrate today, get back to work tomorrow. For Washington on Sunday. I think this team is fired up. I think this team is fueled. The playoffs are right in sight for them. I think they want it. If they want it, then they got to win this.
definitely. Coach, what do you think is going to happen in this game, man? What do you think the scoring outcome would be?
See, I hate predicting ball games and picking ball games because, again, I say it's the same thing. I don't know how this team is going to come out and play, and they'll make it seem like that, hey, that you're rooting against your team when you're actually just seeing what you're seeing out there. But again, I said I'm going to go with a split Washington at the beginning of the year, and I'm going to stay by that. I think I'm going to give this game to Washington because I want to see how Jalen Hurts will respond. We know Taylor Heineke is a better quarterback than Gary Gilbert. We know that. He's also more mobile than Gary Gilbert. He's also more mobile than him as well and can make plays with his feet when he have to. That's going to make it more tougher. And you got half of the lineup is going to be out there. Half of the lineup was out on COVID. So if Jalen Hurts can come out and make some throws that he's supposed to make and not be flustered and not look and read his right progressions and not throw the ball in double coverage, it can look good for us. But each and every game, pressure is on him. And, if they take away them running lanes so he can't run and they make him sit in the pocket like the New York Giants have done, basically, then you're asking for a long time. You're asking for a long day. If you expect Jalen Hurts to throw some balls in the tight windows, stand in the pocket, run up out of that immediately, that calls for trouble for us at that point in time, something that he's not actually good at. Again, to me, I think we've seen enough to evaluate him enough, but we just don't know what the front office is going to do. We just don't know what the front office is going to do with them. So that's why, in the defense, I want to see them perform more better. I want to see them perform beating a very good quarterback. We have not beaten a top quarterback this year, or a very good quarterback. We have not beaten them this year. So I want to go in Washington with energy, and I'm not going to overlook this Washington football team because they're not a 6-9 team. They're better than that. They're better than that 6-9 team. So especially with their full players, you do got a stud in Gibson who can catch out of the backfield and also run between the tackles. You do got a stud wide receiver over there. You do got Adam Humphries over there. That's a pretty good slot receiver. And you do got a defensive line that's still competitive without Jonathan Allen. You still got a good defensive line that is competitive without him. And we've seen that because they got the Jalen Hurts a couple of times in the game. So, again, I'm going to take Washington on a split. And, again, it pains me to say it. That's why I don't like predicting so much. And, I like to not come in underestimate no team. But I when we was going through the schedule earlier and Eagles Uncensored and Slay was there, I had a split with Washington. And I think that's what I'm going to stand by. I got that split with Washington.
I almost had
score prediction.
Score prediction will be 20. It will be 27, 20, 23 Washington.
Nice. VLSG, what is your prediction for this upcoming game against Washington, and what do you think the final score would be?
Well, here's the thing. We're probably going to be going up against a pretty different a different team that we saw compared to the first matchup. The first matchup, we were seeing a lot of practice squad guys. We were seeing Garrett Gilbert. We saw the defense banged up. And like BPS or Papa Store, one of the two said before, the defense it's pretty much going to be the same defense that we faced the first time, but the offense is going to be different because Heineke's going to be back, Antonio Gibson's going to be back. There's going to be no Logan Thomas because he's out for the year. We know that. Terry McLaurin's going to be back on the field. The receivers are going to be back. The offensive line is going to be back. So they're definitely getting key pieces back for the offense. But in terms of the defense, we're pretty much going to be facing up against the same defense as before. And that's where Jalen Hurts needs to be clutch early and cannot start in the second half. Because if that defense honestly gets to you, then you really have a problem with yourself, Jalen. And you just can't do that in every game going forward this season. Otherwise, you're going to eventually you would cost us a playoff spot right there. You could cost us a 6 or 7 seed right there. So at the end of the day, you just have to be better in terms of scoring early. You have to you just got to be better all around. You have to get the offense going, get the defense going. Everybody has to get going early. It can't start in the second half. It has to start in the first half, first quarter to fourth quarter. It just has to ramp up, and we got to get going. And then in terms of the final score, I'm going to say it'll be a closer one than what we saw in the first time, which was 27-17 the first time. But I'm going to say I'm going to go the opposite of what most of you guys said. I'm going to actually say the Eagles somehow in the world find a way to win. I know it's in Washington. I understand that. But I'm going the opposite of everybody. I think somehow the Eagles find a way to pull this one out 24-21. I think the Eagles can just find a way to get down the field. I think they'll make early adjustments. I think they'll just find a way to honestly just get it going early. But that's going to come down to them. If they can start early and finish the same way, then that'll be the score prediction right there. I got 24-21. It'll be a closer one because Washington is more healthy than what they were the first time. And if we can do that and sweep Washington, that would be amazing going into that Dallas game the week after.
I just want to say I appreciate you for having me on, Vic. I have to head out. Subscribe to my guy, Vic. Great content creator. Appreciate you for having me on. It was a phenomenal stream. Yeah, you have a great night, man.
Yeah, man, you too. I appreciate you coming through, my guy. Always good. Always good.
Thank you.
Yeah, for me, my final prediction is going to be that, again, like everyone said, this is going to be a different Washington team. Even though we did face the defense, we didn't look at the full power of their offense. And I think that's what, one thing about Coach Ron Rivera is he doesn't pull any punches. So if our issue is, starting off the game to a slow start, that's going to be a huge problem because, coming off once the clock starts, Washington is going to be ready to go. Whether they win, lose, or draw, they're always going to be ready to perform. And that's something that, we have to battle against. We have to match their intensity. That's a problem that we've had. We always play down to the team's level. We have to match and surpass other teams' intensity. We have to be the ones that set the tone during the game. We can't let these teams, take off our first scoring drive, our first drive, and stop us. We can't do 3 and out in our first, series. And if we're on defense, we can't let them score the ball or even score 3. We got to be dominant in that first series and then keep that going for the rest of the game. With Heineke, I'm not really scared of him. I think he's a better quarterback than what they had before. But at the end of the day, that doesn't grow any strength into his arm. He's still got that noodle arm. He makes good decisions, but decisions that he makes are on par with someone who has better physical capabilities. Heineke thinks further than what his body can do. And I think that's the thing that's going to get him in trouble, especially with this defense, how they played. I think Gannon is finally getting it. He understands what you need to do. You got to create pressure, and it has to be done from the onset. You can't wait around to create pressure. As for this offense, I think Jalen needs to sit back and watch the last game that he had against New York. Watch this one that we just played this week. And why is it that he has so much issues with this team? Coach Dante mentioned it before. Giants run a lot of zone. Well, I think the big issue, the reason why Jalen has issues with zone is because you have to, be responsible with your checkdowns. You got to be on that. And that's something that we all know Jalen can't do. Jalen can't focus on those checkdowns. It's one read, and that's it. Maybe a dump off foul. That's all he got right now. He's not a 2. He was at one point. We thought he could be a 2-read quarterback. He's not there yet. I think if he gets on track, makes progressions, there's nothing that can stop him. I think a lot of the bad decisions that he makes is because of the fact that he can't go through his progressions and forcing the ball when he doesn't need to. If he can, take care of that, and hopefully, if our 2 running backs can start next week, we could have Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard. I think we could win this game handily. I got the score going over to 31-24. Coach Gannon, Coach Sirianni, they both had great games today. Well, Sirianni not in the first half, but second half, he rebounded. I think next week, they've seen what they were. They don't want to start like that again, and we're just going to come off from the bricks, just beating them off. But guys, I just want to say I appreciate y'all for coming on, taking out the time. We're at the 2-hour mark. Just want to say, let everybody know where they can find you. Let's wrap this up. It's been a long day, long holiday weekend. We ended with a win, so let's end it off a good point. Papa, let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, so y'all can find me on Twitter at Papa_Fuchs, Fuchs spelled Fuchs, and y'all can find me on YouTube and Twitch at Papa Sora. As always, honor and a blast to be on here. Always have fun.
Coach Dante, let them know.
You're muted, Dante.
Hey, first of all, I want to appreciate it. I want to thank you for having me on. It's a blessing always. Y'all can find me at Coach Dante on Twitch. Coach Dante 31 on Twitch. Coach Dante 31 on Twitter. Coach Dante 31 on IG. And Coach Dante on YouTube. And it's an honor to be a part of this Eagle family, Eagle Nation. I'm 2-0 today. A shout out to everybody, man. Thank you so much, man, for having me on the show today.
Hey, man, appreciate you for always coming through and always for, giving your support, my guy. I constantly say thank you, and I can't say it enough.
Yes, sir.
BLSG, my guy. Let the people know where they can find you.
Yes, sir, man. First of all, Vic, appreciate you for having me on the show, man. After another Eagles W over the New Jersey Giants, it's just great to come off an Eagles win from Christmas Day. That's the way to finish up that weekend right there. But yeah, man, y'all know where to find me. Y'all can find me on YouTube, BLSG, search in the search bar. If you already subscribed to me, appreciate you. We're unfortunately not hitting 300 subs by the end of the year because it's December 26th, and the end of the year is in about 5 or 6 days. So we're unfortunately probably not going to hit that 300 subscriber mark, but it was a decent run to try to make it there. But you all can still find me there, and Hit that sub button for your boy. Follow me on Twitter, BLSG20. Give your boy a follow over there. If you're not following me, appreciate you already. And yeah, man, we got a win over the New Jersey Giants today. Let's do the same thing to Washington next week. And as always, man, fly with fly.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for coming through. Papa, you said your goodbyes?
Yes, I did.
All right. Well, let me just say to everybody that's watching, as always, thank you so much for coming through, for taking the time out, to watch this little show. To my panel, my guys, you are this show. I appreciate you all so much for coming on and helping me out. I can't say thank you enough. And even though I'll try to, thank you 1,000 times. I'll thank you until my face turns blue. Everyone, have a great weekend. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everyone. Listen, sit back, enjoy this win, and understand that when we go against Washington, they're going to have a different team, but we're going to have a different mentality. We're focused on the playoffs. So don't worry about it. And as always, fly, Eagles, fly. Hey, it's been a great show. I thank you all for coming through. This is Vick3 Presents, the Eagles Post-Game Panel Show. Thank you for coming on. Guys, have a good one.
Arvita Beats.